Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be making the second most voted for dress today, which is this simple bustier dress or top with flared hem. So whichever one you want to call it, either a top or a dress. So sit back, relax, and let's get straight into today's video. So guys, the first thing I'm going to do for today's bustier dress or top, I don't know which to call it. So the bustier dress with flares, the first thing I'm going to do is to draw a 1-inch border line on my pattern paper, just like I always do. So this here 1 inch, this here 1 inch, and I've already done that. Now I'm going to get my bust measurement and then I'm going to divide it by 4. My bust measurement is 36 inches, so I'll divide that by 4 and that gives me 9 inches. So I'll measure 9 inches down here, and this is it right here. Now I'm going to locate the middle of this 9 inches that I just finished marking, and that is 4.5. So I'm going to measure 4.5 also down here and draw a line. Now I'm going to measure my half length, and your half length measurement is you just measure from your shoulders to somewhere above your belly button. You can see how I've illustrated it in the video, in the picture. So just my own half length measurement is 16, so I'll just measure 16 inches down. Now this is my half length mark. So from here I'm going to measure 9 inches down. Now this line we just finished drawing, that will be known as our hip line. So this half length line right here will be known as the waistline, and this one here will be known as the armhole line. So in between your waistline and your hip line, find the middle, just measure it. You know, we measured 9 inches from here down, so just divide that by 2 and that's 4.5. so you just measure 4.5 and that will be the middle of this. So I'm going to draw a line here. So yeah, this line will now be known as the upper hip line. Now on the armhole line I'm going to be measuring my bust. So my bust is 36 inches, so you can add half inch to that if you want. It's not compulsory. So that gives me 36 and a half. So, and then I'm going to divide that by 4. So whatever I get, I'm going to mark that on the armhole line. And now for the waistline, I'm going to get my waist measurement. So my waist measurement is 27 inches. Then I'm going to divide that by 4. So whatever I get, I'm going to add 1 inch to it. So that 1 inch is going to serve as our dart intake. Now this is my waist measurement marked right here. Now on the hip line also, I'm going to also divide this by 4. My hip is 38 inches, so I'm going to divide that by 4, and whatever I get, I'll mark it on the hip line, not the upper hip line, on the actual hip line. And now we go right ahead to mark all points. So we draw it. So we draw this, we draw the bust to the waist, and then we draw the waist to the hip. Now we need to decide how long we want the top or dress to be. So for me, I'll say maybe about 26 inches. So I'll just measure 26 inches down from the top here down, and this is the length for me. So I'm just going to draw a straight line from my hip line straight down. Now for your dart, if you're a bit smaller, maybe size 8, size 10, size 12, you can just measure 3.5 inches in. So you can come to your waistline, measure 3.5. But if you're a bit bigger, you can measure 4 inches. So it's always between the mark of 3.5 and 4 inches for so it can be different for different people. Sometimes you can use 3.6, sometimes you can use 3.7. It all depends on you and your own specific body. So yeah, this is it for me. If this doesn't work for you, you need to register into my pattern drafting class, where I go more into detail on how you can get the accurate location of your dart line. Now everything we've drawn here, you need to draw. You can just get a new paper and then trace that out with your tracing wheel. So you just trace that out. So we can also have our back piece at the same time. So just trace everything here on another piece of paper. And yeah, this is it traced out. So I'm just going to label this part here my front, and this one will be my back. So now let's continue with the front. Ignore everything we've done here. So let's continue with the front. Now we need to draw our darts for the front. So from this armhole line here, you can see still our armhole line, just go down by 1.5 inches and mark it. Now on the waistline here, on this dart line, you measure half inch out. Remember when we were marking in our waist line, we added 1 inch for that intake, so that 1 inch will now need to mark it here. So half inch here, half inch here, that's 1 inch. Then once you are done marking it, you connect it from here down to this mark we did here, and then connect from here here. So when you are done, you also connect from here to our upper hip line here, and also connect from here to our upper hip line. So this is my dart done. Now I'm going to separate this pattern so we can keep the back aside so you don't get confused. Now let's draw in our hemline. So on this line right here, at this dart line area here, just come down by 1 inch, and then right here from this line here, come down by 1.5 inches. Now I'm going to place my French curve and then just draw kind of like a curved line here. The reason why I'm doing this is because if you look at the top or dress, you see that the neckline is slightly curved at the center right here. So that is the reason why I'm doing this, and this is it. So now I'm going to place my French curve this way, and then I'm just going to draw a curve from here back to my armhole level here. Now on the neckline here, measure 1 inch out here, 1 inch out here, then you just connect from there back to your armhole line here, back to your armhole line. Now if you want it more tight fitting, just measure your under bust measurement. So my under bust measurement is 14 inches, so I'm going to place my tape measure to the top here and then just mark where my under bust measurement is. So yeah, this is the line here. So on the dart leg here, measure half inch out here, and here also measure half inch out, and then you connect from here back to your bust point, you connect to your bust point, and then you also draw a line from here back to your waistline like this. Like this. So that's it guys. Now let's label. So this is my center front and this is my side front. So I'm going to, at the hemline we need to extend out for the flare, so I'm going to add the paper to this so we can extend it. Right here I'm going to extend the hemline by 3 inches, so you can decide to extend by maybe 4 inches if you want, maybe you want to make it wider. So I'll extend by 3 inches and then I'll reconnect that back to my waistline here. Now we can now cut the panels out, but before we cut out, remember to add your allowance, 1/4 inch at the hemline, 1 inch at the side, and at the hem here you can add 1 inch. So everything here we don't need, but this is a border line. Then you also cut this open this way, follow this way, that's the center front, follow this, go here, then come straight and then go here for the center front. Now the side front will come, follow this line here, goes here, come here, and that's it. So I'm going to do that now and show you what the pieces look like. Now this is our completed front, so you just need to go cut on your fabric now. So for your center front, cut 1 unfold, and for your side front you cut 2 pieces. So when you are cutting on your fabric, remember to add 1/2 inch allowance here and also here. So now let's work on the back. Now for the back, let's first draw in our dart. So come to your waistline, measure 1/2 inch out, 1/2 inch out. Then when you do that, you reconnect to your armhole. This time we are not marking down 1.5 like we did for the front, so just connect it to your armhole line, and then when you connect that, you connect also to your upper hip line and connect also to your upper hip line. Now on this line at the top here, this one here, measure 1/2 inch out here, 1/2 inch out here, and draw a straight line from here to any part of your dart leg as far as it's straight. So just place it this way and then just draw a straight line. Now for the back neckline, just come to your armhole line here and come down by 1 inch, because the back neckline of the bustier is always lower than the front. And then I'm going to reconnect back to my armhole. Now the flare we did for the front, we also need to do that for the back. So at the hemline here, we need to measure out 3 inches. Once you measure out 3 inches, you reconnect back to your waistline like we did for the front. And we are done. I'm just going to label this. This is my center back and this is my side back. So we just need to cut it out. This part here represents our zip allowance. Remember the borderline we marked earlier, so I'm just going to redraw my own. You can see it's not straight, so I'll just redraw it. So everything here is like 1 inch. Now just measure 1/4 inch allowance for the neckline, 1 inch at the side, 1 inch at the hem, and separate your panels. Side back goes this way and then follows here and here, and center back follows here, here, straight line, then here. And that's basically it. So I'm just going to do that now, cut out on my fabric, and then we can move straight to sewing everything together. So guys, this is everything cut out. This is my center front, my side front, side back, center back. So I also went ahead to also cut my lining also exactly the same way, and that is pretty much everything. Now for the sewing, I'm not going to do so much explanation because it's pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to open all of this up now. So this is my center front opened up. These are my 2 side front pieces. So yeah, now to sew, just lay the side front over the center front here, and then you just sew 1/2 inch all the way up. By the time you are done sewing, it falls this way. Then you do the same also for this, and then it falls also this way. Then you do go ahead and do the same also for the lining piece. When you are done doing it for the lining piece, you use the lining to turn the neckline of your front, and so just to keep your neckline neat and tidy. And then you can also use the lining also to turn your hemline, just to keep it also neat and tidy. Then when you are done, you do the same also for the back pieces, and then when you are done, you place front and back together, and then you sew 1 inch at the side. So I'm just going to go right ahead to do that on my sewing machine. I'm not doing any more explanation. The next thing you would see after this, it will be the completed dress or blouse. I'll just show you that, and that will be all. And also one note, when you're sewing yours, remember you can also iron on interfacing to the back of your fabric to give it some more structure. So just turn to the wrong side and then just iron on your interfacing to the back of the fabric. So guys, I just wanted you guys to see what the inside of the dress looks like before I go ahead to join the side. So you can see I've already sewn the panels, and then I used my lining to sew the hemline and also the neckline. So I'm going to turn this inside out. So this is what this looks like now. So you can go right ahead to give this the neckline a nice press, and also give this a nice press so everything lies flat. So you can see the bust area of the dress. You can see the shaping that we have. So yeah, now all I have to do now is to just place my my back piece over this right sides together, and then we sew by 1/2 inch. So we sew this by I said 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch here, and also 1 inch at the other side. So you fix your zipper in the middle. So I'm going to go right ahead to do all of that now, and then I'll show you what the final dress looks like. And guys, this is the completed dress. I decided to make it stand just so that you can see the structure of the dress more clearly. So guys, all I'm going to do now is to put this on my mannequin so you can see the feet. At the back, you just put your zipper, and yeah, that is all. If you do recreate this, don't forget to drop the picture in the community tab so others can also see it. Tap the subscribe button below your screen, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.